this video we're going to change the switch position on this Bosch GWS 9-115P angle grinder. I've muted out much of the audio in this video because it sounds something like this. In a previous video I demonstrated how bad the switch is positioned on this grinder. I'll link to that video in the description and in the top right of the picture. Thanks to Sven Muller that pointed out that it is possible to change the switch position on this grinder. Obviously when you work on site you don't always get the instructions, you just get handed the grinder. Also a lot of the information in the manual is not relevant, such as the speed control dial, which is not present on this model. Before making the last video I did watch the Bosch marketing video about the Pro Protection switch, and even they did not demonstrate how to change the switch position, so here it is. You might notice that in the last video the switch was underneath the grinder and now it is on one side, as I have already moved it once. Firstly, ensure that the grinder is unplugged from the power supply. Now remove the disc. You might of course need the pin wrench to do this. Remove the backing flange, then press in the lever and rotate the grinder guard. There is a tiny mark on the grinder head and the guard. Once they are aligned you can lift off the guard. There are then 4 Torx head screws that need removing. These are also slotted, but using a slotted screwdriver is difficult, so a Torx driver is best. This uses a T20 driver. You will notice that 3 of the screws are BZP and the other one is blackened. The blackened one is the one that secures the lever to the grinder. If you are thinking that this is a lot of messing about, I totally agree with you, but at least we can get the switch into a more comfortable position. If Bosch had the switch on either side of the grinder, perhaps I could have lived with it, but by default the switch is on the underside of the grinder, which is the most awkward place to put it. All 4 screws need removing. Pay special attention to the black one, as that must be fitted back to the lever. Once all 4 screws are removed, you can rotate the grinder body in relation to the head until you get the switch where you want it. Then replace all the screws and the lever, refit the grinder guard, backing flange, disc and flange nut, and you are good to go. I do have to say that I'm sure Bosch could have made this much easier. I really cannot imagine people moving the switch position often. Perhaps they think that most grinders are only used by one person. Once the switch has been rotated, you can cut and grind until your heart is content.